400 or 500 rupees. Don't read any other book on equity investment. I always tell my students, I do a little teaching in Mangalore once in a way. I said, if you have not read The Intelligent Investor, please read it. If you have read it and you want to read something more on equity, read the same book again. Don't read something else. You read something else, your knowledge will be lowered. I have read this book not less than 9 or 10 times. I try to read these classics every year. Every year. Each time you get new insights reading the same book. That is the definition of a classic. If I have noticed anything on these 60 years on Wall Street, it is that people do not succeed in forecasting what is going to happen to the stock market. This is what Benjamin Graham said, the ultimate. This is the man who taught Warren Buffett. So we'll come to the disciple now. We have long felt that the only value of stock forecasters is to make fortune tellers look good. And if you want my personal favorite about equity researchers, Burton Malkiel, who heads the Department of Economics at Princeton University, there are only 3 kinds of financial prognosticators, forecasters. Those who don't know, those who don't know they don't know, and those who know they don't know but get paid big bucks to pretend they know. Let me tell you one brief truth about equity investing that you all need to know. In a rising market, you do not need the advice of experts to make money. You buy any trash, it will appreciate. In a falling market, the advice of the best experts will not prevent you from losing money. This is the ultimate truth. You can take any situation anywhere in the world where there has been a stock market, you will see that this is true. That's why there's this beautiful saying, do not confuse brains with a bull market. Our returns were 40% per year the last 3 years. It was not your returns. The market went up. They'll come and give you your colorful brochures. This is something we all fall a victim to. Professor Jeremy Siegel, Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, has written a very good book called Stocks for the Long Run. Stupidity, well packaged, can sound like wisdom. And this is an all-time classic. Benjamin Graham again. Wall Street people learn nothing and forget everything. That is why if there's one thing we see again and again in the stock market, same mistakes being made again and again. When do we make the same mistakes again? When we learn nothing and we forget everything. Now we come to how do you invest in equity? Very few of us think of the stock market as an avenue of investment. But if you ever agree with me that the stock market is an avenue of investment, then let me make one point. When you read the world's best writers, these writers will tell you, when you buy equity, buy the market. Don't buy selective, buy the whole thing. The market will give you returns. Now, one of the ways in which the market comes to you is in the form of a simple index fund, because the index fund is designed to mimic the market. The best investment would be something called a total stock market index fund, something that buys and holds all the stocks available in the market. Large caps, mid caps, small caps, and some mad caps also. Buy the economy. This is what they will always tell you, buy the economy. And of course, we are already into this era of globalization. And when the rules get relaxed, you'll also be able to buy stocks outside India. Even now you can do it to a limited extent. There are also 1 or 2 mutual funds that help you, but they are a little bit high cost. Eventually, we'll have to have an investment portfolio that is global. There's no harm in this. But to make a stronger statement, investing in the stock market is investing in the economy of the country. No one can call himself or herself a stock market investor unless he or she invests in the economy of the country. And the last point I want to make on this note is, anyone doing anything else, you don't invest in the economy. You only pick and choose one sector here, one company there. You're a speculator. Once again, you're not an investor. You can't become an investor by calling yourself an investor. You can become an investor by simply being an investor. It's not a badge to be worn. Like we have this term of advisors. Everybody is an advisor. If somebody asks me, are you an advisor? I said, no. I'm only a student of investment. Always studying, never passing. Everybody is an advisor. Just 10-15 years back, an insurance agent was called an insurance agent. I still use the word agent. How did they suddenly overnight become advisors? Did they find enlightenment one day like Gautama Buddha? If you see a rat, a mouse, and the mouse calls itself, I am a tiger, I am a tiger, does it become a tiger? The real tiger does not need to call itself a tiger. Everybody knows, that's a tiger. So an agent does not become, a salesperson does not become an advisor by calling himself an advisor. I am a passive investor. Let your life be active, let your investments be passive. This is one of the biggest myths in the investment industry. That, stock market needs daily study. I've been a stock market investor for 27 years. I don't forget daily. I don't do any study. I simply buy and hold a diversified portfolio. The most successful investors I know are people who have been in the market upwards of 30, 40 years. When they bring their shares for dematerialization, you will find so many companies there that have gone into liquidation. Orkay Silk Mills, Oswald Agro. But we think they are foolish. But these people are earning 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 lakhs of dividends per year. So you can imagine at about 1% dividend yield what the size of their portfolio is. They have stopped counting long back. John Bogle said this, buy right and hold tight. Buying right is simply buying the market. An index fund is superb for a normal investor. You don't need anything else. Today we have got one fund, at least in India, that tracks the NSE 500 index. The benchmark S&P CNX 500 index fund. An excellent fund. Just buying one thing, you're into the top 500 companies in India with a miserable 1,000 rupees of SIP per year. There's tremendous power in the hands of an investor. Buy right and then just hold tight. Warren Buffett, one of my favorite sayings, inactivity strikes us as intelligent behavior. Perfectly suited for a lazy fellow like me. And of course, this was already presented. Lethargy bordering on sloth, the same thing, inactivity strikes us as intelligent behavior, but in more powerful language. Lethargy bordering on sloth remains the cornerstone of our investment strategy. I can put in your hands a very powerful weapon next time you're confronted by a stockbroker who says, they are talking nonsense, you got to churn, you got to buy, sell. Show them these quotations and ask them a simple question. Do you know more than Warren Buffett? If the answer is, there can be only two answers, yes or no. If he says yes, then please show me your investment record, audited investment record. I'll do some auditing myself of how you have beaten Warren Buffett over, let's say, 10 years. If the answer is no, you do not know more than Warren Buffett, why are you giving advice contrary to Warren Buffett? That will be the end of the argument. That will be the end of the argument. Equity time horizons, let me once again emphasize, like real estate time horizons are for the long term. The time horizon of equity investments is at least 5 years. At least 5 years. Never confuse. The moment somebody hears me saying 5 years, they say 5 years. It's not a bank deposit maturing after 5 years. It can be for 30 years, 60 years. It can be for 100 years. You may not live. It can have legacy value. You can pass it on to the generation next to you. It's an asset, just like real estate. At least is minimum. That is, if you cannot wait 5 years, don't invest in equity. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has something that I like. He says, be greedy, but be long-term greedy. Warren Buffett.